Have you ever wondered, why do some people suffer while others seem to flourish? Is it fate? Or is there a deeper truth behind the way life unfolds? According to the Buddha, it all comes down to one powerful law, the law of karma. But karma isn't what most people think it is. In this video, we'll explore what karma really means, not just in popular culture, but as taught by the Buddha himself, from the ancient Pali Canon, the Tipitaka. Discover how cause and effect truly shape your life, not through superstition, but through clear wisdom. Let's uncover the real meaning of karma, how it works, how it doesn't, and how understanding it can transform your actions, your mind, and your future. Click play and let the Dharma unfold.
The three causes for the arising of karma. Because there are these three causes for the complete arising of karma. What three? There is delight arising, dependent on things that are the basis for sensual desire in the past. There is delight arising, dependent on things that are the basis for sensual desire in the future. There is delight arising, dependent on things that are the basis for sensual desire in the present. How? Because does delight arise dependent on things that are the basis for sensual desire in the past? Here, one reflects upon things that have passed away, which were the basis for sensual desire. As one reflects thus, delight arises. For one in whom delight has arisen, he is said to be bound by those things. That attachment, we say, is a fetter. Thus is delight arising dependent on things of the past. How? Because does delight arise dependent on things of the future? Here, one reflects upon things not yet come, which are the basis for sensual desire. As one reflects thus, delight arises. For one in whom delight has arisen, he is said to be bound by those things. That attachment, we say, is a fetter. Thus is delight arising dependent on things of the future. How? Because does delight arise dependent on things of the present? Here, one reflects upon things currently present, which are the basis for sensual desire. As one reflects thus, delight arises. For one in whom delight has arisen, he is said to be bound by those things. That attachment, we say, is a fetter. Thus is delight arising dependent on things of the present. Because these three are causes for the full arising of karma. The three causes for the cessation of karma. Because there are these three causes for the non-arising, the cessation of karma. What three? There is no delight arising, dependent on things that are the basis for sensual desire in the past. There is no delight arising, dependent on things that are the basis for sensual desire in the future. There is no delight arising dependent on things that are the basis for sensual desire in the present. How? Because is there no delight dependent on the past? Here, one sees clearly the long-term consequences of things that have passed away, which were the basis for sensual desire. Having understood these consequences thoroughly, one turns away from them, lets go, and penetrates them with wisdom. Thus, no delight arises dependent on them. So too with regard to things of the future, one sees clearly the long-term consequences, turns away, lets go, and penetrates them with wisdom. Thus, no delight arises. So too with things of the present, one sees clearly the long-term consequences, turns away, lets go, and penetrates them with wisdom. Thus, no delight arises. Because these are the three causes for the cessation of karma. What is old karma and new karma? Because I shall teach you karma, old and new, the cessation of karma, and the practice leading to the cessation of karma. Listen and pay close attention. What is old karma? Because the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, and the mind, these should be regarded as old karma, conditioned and volitionally arisen, to be felt as resultants. This, because, is called old karma. And what is new karma? That volitional action one performs now with body, speech, or mind, This, bhikkhu, is called nu kamma. And what is the cessation of kamma? The cessation of bodily, verbal, and mental action, this, bhikkhu, is called the cessation of kamma. And what is the path leading to the cessation of kamma? It is this noble eightfold path, namely, right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Bhikkhu, this is called the path leading to the cessation of kamma. Bhikkhu, thus have I taught you old kamma and new kamma, the cessation of kamma, and the path leading to the cessation of kamma. Whatever a compassionate teacher, one who seeks the welfare of his disciples, should do out of compassion, that has been done by me. There are roots of trees, there are empty huts. Meditate, bhikkhu, do not be heedless, do not come to regret it later. This is my instruction to you. This body is old kamma. Monks, this body is not yours, nor does it belong to others. Monks, you should see this old kamma, this body, as something conditioned by causes abhisakota, something generated through volition abhisaksattanika, something that is felt vedanya. In regard to this body, monks, a noble disciple who has listened well contemplates wisely and precisely, in terms of dependent origination, in this way. With this as condition, that arises. With the arising of this, that comes to be. With this not being, that does not arise. With the cessation of this, that ceases. Namely, with ignorance as condition, volitional formations arise. With volitional formations as condition, consciousness arises. With consciousness as condition, name and form arises. With name and form as condition, the six sense bases arise. With the six sense bases as condition, contact arises. With contact as condition, feeling arises. With feeling as condition, craving arises. With craving as condition, clinging arises. With clinging as condition, becoming arises. With becoming as condition, birth arises. With birth as condition, aging and death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair arise. Thus is the origin of this whole mass of suffering. But with the fading away and cessation of ignorance, volitional formations cease. With the cessation of volitional formations, consciousness ceases, and so on. With the cessation of birth, aging and death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair cease. Thus is the cessation of this whole mass of suffering, ***, the results of kamma by time of ripening. Monks, what is the ripening of kamma? There are three kinds of ripening of kamma. 1. Ripening in this very life dishodhamika. 2. Ripening upon rebirth upapajavananya. 3. Ripening in some future life apaparyavadani. This, monks, is what is called the ripening of kamma. The wise understand kamma by its results. One is not a Brahmin by birth, nor is one not a Brahmin by birth. One becomes a Brahmin through kamma. One is not a Brahmin through kamma. One is a farmer through kamma, an artist through kamma. One is a merchant through kamma, a servant through kamma. One is a thief through kamma, a warrior through kamma. One is a priest through kamma, even a king through kamma. The wise see kamma as it truly is. Such a one is called one who understands dependent origination, one who is wise in the ripening of kamma. The world proceeds according to kamma. Beings are bound by kamma, like the linchpin that holds a moving cart in place. The kamma for beauty, wealth, and nobility. Mallika, some women in this world are not quick to anger. Even when spoken to harshly, they do not become offended, resentful, or aggressive. They are generous, giving food, water, clothing, vehicles, flowers, perfumes, ointments, bedding, dwellings, and lamps to ascetics and Brahmins. They are free from envy, rejoicing in the gains and honours received by others. Upon passing from that life, wherever they are reborn, they are beautiful, radiant in complexion, wealthy, and noble in status. 5 qualities of noble giving. Monks, there are 5 aspects of noble giving sapurasadhana. 1. One gives with faith. 2. One gives with respect. 3. One gives at the proper time. 4. One gives with a generous heart. 5. One gives without causing harm to oneself or to others. The noble person, when giving with faith, becomes wealthy, beautiful, and of pleasing appearance. When giving with respect, one gains loyal companions, spouse, children, servants, and workers who listen, obey, and are attentive. When giving at the right time, one's needs and wishes arise at the right time, fully satisfied. When giving with a generous heart, one becomes inclined to enjoy the fivefold sense pleasures in abundant measure. When giving without harm, one becomes wealthy and secure, protected from fire, water, kings, thieves, enemies, or undesired heirs. These are the 5 aspects of noble giving. Karma leading to non-decline. Monks, from past lives, for 7 years the Tathagata cultivated loving kindness met without interruption. Thus, throughout 7 cycles of world contraction and expansion, he was never reborn in this human realm. In the era of contraction, he was reborn in the Basara Brahm realm. In the expansion, he dwelled in the empty Brahm mansions. Monks, in those kalpas, the Tathagata was a Brahm, a great Brahm, supreme, unconquered, all-seeing, sovereign in power. He was also Sokha, Lord of the Devas, 36 times. He was a righteous wheel-turning monarch Kakavati Roger countless times, ruling justly over the 4 great oceans with the 7 treasures. The thought arose in him, what ripening of karma has led to such power and radiance in each of those lives? And it was understood, it is the ripening of 3 types of karma: generosity dhyana, self-restraint dhamma, and moral discipline sayama. Evil deeds yield painful results. Poverty and debt, these are suffering in the world. A poor person, having borrowed to survive, suffers when pursued or arrested by creditors. Arrest itself is suffering for those who seek sensual pleasure. In the noble discipline, too, one without faith, without moral shame or fear of wrongdoing, accumulates evil through body, speech, and mind, hiding these acts so no one knows. That one is like the poor man living on borrowed wealth, ever anxious. Remorse and self-reproach torment such a person both at home and in the wilderness. The wicked, reflecting on their evil deeds, are reborn among animals or in hell, bound and imprisoned, a kind of suffering unknown to the wise.
If this teaching has touched your heart, take a moment to reflect, not just on the past, but on what seeds you're planting now. If you'd like to explore more timeless truths from the Buddha's words, I invite you to subscribe and join us on this path of gentle awakening. Until next time, may your thoughts be kind, your speech be gentle, and your actions filled with wisdom. Thank you for listening.